Greetings, greetings. How are you all doing? How are you? You already know that when I usually record here from the vehicle, it's because there's some last-minute information. Wow, something has definitely come up today. Armando the Ant González has turned down an offer from CSKA Moscow to come and stay. Sorry, to stay with the Chivas team. What a situation, what an ant situation. They actually came for him, huh? They came for him and he said no. How did this happen? How did this situation occur? It turns out that the market in Russia closed today. Today was the day that the Russian market shut its doors. 3 days ago, an offer came in for Armando. But it was an offer that, right from the start, would change his life in terms of salary. The salary was going to change Armando Gonzalez's life. It was crazy. It was practically going to set Armando Gonzalez's life at just 22 years old. And on the other hand, there was the fact of what they were going to pay Chivas, because CSKA Moscow came in super determined. They weren't going to negotiate anything at all. They were just going to pay the release clause, and that's it. That was the deal they were looking for. That was exactly the deal they were looking for. In the end, right? It doesn't happen because it was Armando who refused. Armando was the one who didn't want to. And what they told me made them decide not to go to Russian soccer. Is it? There are several factors. First, the fact that he's doing great at Chivas and things are going really well for him, plus the love he has for the club. Second, the fact that he's competing for a spot in the World Cup and leaving from one day to the next, just like that, so quickly, so unexpectedly, meant moving, adapting, getting used to the team, to the coach. A lot of changes that obviously didn't give him much confidence to start playing right away. Surely 2 or 3 weeks would go by, and then we would have to see how he did. Third, he wants to be a champion with Chivas, of course. And fourth, Armando González. I wasn't that interested in the Russian league because there are no European competitions. So the competition would just be with the same Russian teams. But it wasn't going to give me, let's say, that little boost or that step forward in football. So, well, that's the situation with Hormiga in that sense. And I would add one more thing, and the other thing I would add is that Armando La Hormiga González is being followed by more teams in Europe. There are many more who are keeping an eye on this kid, and obviously he understands that it could happen. And if he goes to the World Cup, he could go to a better league, to a better club. That would give him opportunities to compete in other places, like the Champions League or the Europa League, or one of those tournaments that are extremely attractive. So what he did was turn down the money. And he preferred to stay at Chivas. Honestly, as a Chivas fan, I think it's a great decision by Hormiga. I mean, as a Chivas fan, I celebrate it, I'm happy about it. I really like that it turned out this way, because it means we'll have Hormiga for a long time, because he's totally focused on scoring more goals and wants to win a championship with his team. For me, it was the right decision by Armando La Hormiga González. Well, on other topics, later the list of players called up for the Mexican national team will be announced. At least at the time of recording this video. We still don't know, we're still unaware, but it's going to happen at any moment. And I'm looking forward to finding out. Sorry, I pulled something here and it fell. I'm looking forward to finding out who will be called up by Chivas. It'll probably be quite a few again, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe even 10. I don't know, but Silvasco Aguirre has really been keeping an eye on the players from the Tapatio team. And that's where the call-ups will come from, the expected ones, plus probably an extra one or two after what happened in the last non-Federación Internacional de Football Association date. And this is going to bring certain problems for the Chivas coach, Gabi Milito, who will literally have to patch up his team next week to train on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. He won't have the number of players that are taken to the try, so he's going to be missing those footballers. Well, let's see how they solve it. It's the first time, well, it already happened in the previous match day. Although on that occasion, the tournament had been suspended for a week, and then some players returned late. Now it's going to directly affect their preparation for the game against Toluca. Meanwhile, while Chivas are still training, working, today was a tough session, a hard session with Richie Ledesma and Diego Campillo, who are giving it 100% to play on Saturday after they came out a bit banged up from the weekend's match. But are they ready? Will they be able to take part in their commitment this weekend against the Cruz Azul squad? Without any issue, without any problem, they'll be able to do it. And, well, we'll see in the end what happens in this match, which you already know the context of. Chivas comes in with 6 consecutive victories, trying to go 7 for 7, 18 points. A dream start for Guadalajara. And on top of everything, with the great motivation that comes from having defeated America in the last match, 1-0. But it was a masterclass, a football lesson that the Rebaño gave to the America team. We still have to add that extra excitement to the match we'll see, or have this weekend against Cruz Azul, where Chivas, as I said, are going for the famous 7 out of 7, trying to keep going strong in this tournament. Well, just to remind you that the match will be in Puebla. The game will be at 9 post-Meridian Central Mexico time. Next Saturday, Cruz Azul will be the administrative home team, and for the United States and Canada, 10 post-Meridian Eastern, 7 post-Meridian Pacific. Televisa, on its platforms and in both countries, will be responsible for broadcasting this match. So we'll be keeping a very, very, very close eye on what Chivas do. All right, we'll leave this video here. Thank you very much for your attention. Keep subscribing, commenting, sharing, and liking, and I'll see you next time. I'm Jesus Bernal. Goodbye.